Daf Yomi, Tractate Chullin, page 37b. Top of the page with the words V'isol kedaitich treifo. Okay? V'isol kedaitich treifo hainu mesukenes. V'chlev rachmano chelev levele yaseh lechol malach v'chelev treifo lo yisochlu. V'yanamina ma mechaim asu yisu treifo chayel v'yisu chelev lachar v'yisa mivoye. And if it enters your mind to say that the halachic status of a treifa lacking body parts is the same as that of an animal in danger of imminent death, let the merciful one write, and the fat of a carcass may be used for any purpose, and the fat of a treifa you shall not eat. The prohibition against eating forbidden fat should have been written exclusively with regard to a treifa, and I would say, if while an animal is alive and in danger of imminent death, the prohibition against eating a treifa takes effect upon the prohibition against eating forbidden fat, is it necessary to state that after its death, the prohibition against eating an unslaughtered carcass takes effect upon the prohibition against eating forbidden fat? Ella! The Gemara concludes, rather, from the fact that the merciful one writes that the prohibition against eating an unslaughtered carcass takes effect upon the prohibition against eating forbidden fat, one learns by inference that the treifa in the verse is not the same as an animal in danger of imminent death. Rather, the treifa in the verse is an animal that was mauled and is lacking body parts. And it is only that animal that is prohibited after slaughter. Eating an animal in danger of imminent death after slaughter is permitted. Maskif lo ma'al baravashi v'dil maloi lami malach hay matreifa haynu mesukenes v'tikam ret nevelo ndikazach man lamali nach nevelo dolasi mikoyach mesukenes v'hechi dami sheosa gistra hosav nami yefshad lo havi mesukenes put mekame de livsa keleruba. Mar Baravashi objects to this. And perhaps, actually, I will say to you that the halachic status of a treifa is the same as that of an animal in danger of imminent death. And with regard to that which you said, why do I need the prohibition with regard to an unslaughtered carcass that the merciful one writes, one can explain that it is necessary for an unslaughtered carcass that does not come as a result of danger of imminent death. And what are the circumstances of that unslaughtered carcass? It is in a case where one rendered the animal like a shard by cutting it in two, widthwise. The Gemara rejects that distinction there too. In the case where one rendered the animal like a shard, it is impossible that the animal was not at least somewhat in danger of imminent death. Yeah, if you cut it in half, it's going to die for sure. I don't understand what you're suggesting here, but okay. Was at least in somewhat danger of imminent death before he cut the majority of the animal. Oh, the majority? Oh, if you cut half of a half, if you cut the animal in half and only, so you cut a quarter of the animal and it's not dead yet, and then he had a heart attack and died. And I guess maybe, so it's left this massive wound, half its body cut. I guess it could survive. But wow, what a case to think about. Okay. Anyway, wie boy say, Mom, im kein lema, chelev nevelu trefa, chelev lamali. Zo hi she'en chelev chaluk מבשרה, ויש לה אחר שחלב חלוק מבשרה, ואיזה זו מסוכנת. And if you wish, say instead that there is a different source for the fact that the meat of an animal in danger of imminent death is permitted. If it is so, that an animal in danger of imminent death is included in the category of treifa, let the verse say, the fat of an unslaughtered carcass and a treifa. Why do I need it to be written, fat of a carcass and the fat of a treifa? The term fat is repeated to teach that it is this case where the status of its fat is not distinct from the status of its meat, and both are prohibited. But You have another case where the status of its fat, which is forbidden, is distinct from the status of its meat, which is permitted. And which case is that? That is the case of an animal in danger of imminent death. Aha. Aha. You find this word in Tanakh and Navi sometimes. Aha. Okay. V'omer aha. Hashem Elokim hine nafshi lo mituma uvelo trefa lo achalti minuai ve'adata velo ba b'pi misar pigul. And if you wish, say instead, it is derived from this verse. Then I said, Lord God, my soul has not become impure. And from my youth until now, I have not eaten an unslaughtered carcass or a treifa, and no pigul flesh came into my mouth. Ezekiel 4:14. We see that things can be metame you by eating them. Maybe that's on a soul level, but we're talking about maybe a spirit level. Okay. Anyway, he said his soul wasn't being metame from eating things, so we see that what goes into your mouth can, in fact, at least according to this, it would seem, but maybe there's a distinction. I mean, I'm open to suggestions. Ezekiel 4:14, Ezekiel says, Lord God, my soul has not become impure, and from my youth until now I have not eaten an unslaughtered carcass or a treifa. No pigul flesh came into my mouth. Compare that with not what goes into your mouth defiles you, but what comes out of your mouth defiles you. Okay, Tarakian, listen. I'm not going to throw it out. I'm just going to say it's a question. Hinina shilo mituma shilo hirati biyam lavoli netuma balayla ulavenu tevlahaldi miniwai shilo haldi bisarkos kos me oilam filoba befi besar pigul. Pigul is a good indication. Pigul is thought. How can Ezekiel eat pigul? Was he a priest? You don't know. It's a good question. Shlo achalti mebehema shehoyer lebachacham mishum Rabbi Nassan oimer shlo achalti mebehema shelo yichomo matnoiseho. The Gemara explains, my soul has not become impure means that I did not consider any sinful thoughts during the day. This answers it right here. The Gemara says, Take, what the meaning of this verse is. My soul has not become impure means that I did not consider any sinful thoughts. So we see that it doesn't mean eating, it means thinking. So we're back to we're back to that again. What goes into your mouth does not defile you. What comes out of your mouth, and the Gemara proves it from here. My soul has not become impure means I did not consider any sinful thoughts during the day that would cause me to come to impurity due to a seminal emission at night. And from my youth until now I have not eaten an unslaughtered carcass means I never ate the flesh of an animal that was in danger of imminent death, leading one to say, slaughter it before it dies. So we see it's not actually eating it. I never ate the flesh of an animal that was in danger of imminent death, leading one to say, slaughter it. If it's in danger of imminent death, then it's going to die within the year. So it should be a treifa. I don't see what the distinction between that is. But anyway, let's continue. And no pigul flesh came into my mouth means I never ate from an animal with regard to which there was uncertainty whether it is forbidden, and a sage issued a ruling to permit it. They said in the name of Rabbi Natan. Okay, so maybe they would say it is actually eating. Okay, so now we're back to the same question again. All right, Okay. Tzarchian. I never ate from an animal with regard to which there was uncertainty whether it's forbidden in a sage issue ruling to permit it. They said in the name of Rabbi Natan that the last portion of the verse means that I never ate from an animal whose gifts to which members of the priesthood, this week's Torah portion, Parshas Kailech, to which members of the priesthood are entitled. The foreleg, the jaw, and the maw were not already separated. Iyamat b'shlom mishalyo hainu ubesei dicheskel. The proof is, granted, if you say that it's permitted to slaughter and eat an animal in imminent danger of death, then that is the greatness of Ezekiel, as although eating is permitted, he refrained from doing so. He went lifnim mishur asadin. But if you say that it is forbidden to slaughter and eat that animal, what in that action attests to the greatness of Ezekiel? Apparently, it is permitted to slaughter and eat an animal in danger of imminent death. Hechidami misukenes. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav, Kol Shema Midino Isa Ve'eno Amedes. Rav Chanina Bar Shalemya, Mishmein Rav Amar, Afilo Cheles Bekoyois. Rami Bar Yecheskel Amar, Afilo Cheles Koyois. The Gemara asks, what are the circumstances of an animal in danger of imminent death? Rabbi Yehuda said, and Rav said, that is in any animal with regard to which one stands on its feet, but it does not stand unaided. Rav Chanina Bar Shalemya, in the name of Rav, said, that indicator is so clear that even an animal maintains sufficient strength in its jaw. Remember jaw? Strengthen his jaw and eats pieces of wood. If it is unable to stand, its status is that of an animal in danger of imminent death. Rami Bar Yecheskel said, that is even the case even if that animal eats beams and splinters. Okay. Vesura masni hacha, bipum bedite masni hacha. Hechadam yimisukenes, Amar Rav Yehuda Hamarav. Kol shema midino isoveinu moimedes. Afilo cheles bekiyois. Rami vayecheskel amar. Afilo cheles koyois. In Surah, they would teach the exchange in that manner. In Pupadita, they would teach the exchange in this manner. What are the circumstances of an animal in danger of imminent death? Rabbi Yehuda said, the Rav said, it is any animal with regard to which one stands on its feet, but it does not stand unaided. It has to use a cane. I'm just kidding. Even if that animal maintains sufficient strength in his jaw and eats pieces of wood. Splinters would be like pieces of wood, and beams are large pieces of wood. Okay, even if the animal maintains sufficient strength in its jaw and eats pieces of wood, Rabbi Yecheskel said, that indicator is so clear that even if that animal maintains sufficient strength in its jaw and eats beams, if it is unable to stand, its status is that of an animal in danger of imminent death. Ashkachinu Shmuel Talmidei Rav Amalahu Mai Amarav Misukenes Amrilei Haki Amarav. Shmuel found students of Rav after Rav's death. He said to them, what did Rav say with regard to an animal in danger of imminent death? They said to him, this is what Rav said.